Hi students! Today we are going to be reviewing how to find the area of circles as well as a few other shapes. Your learning target is I can apply the formulas for finding the area of various shapes. So to make it simple, I made a chart right here for you to follow along with. The area of a circle, go ahead and fill that in with what it is. We already know it's pi times the radius squared. And a lot of times the area formulas, actually almost all the time, will start with A equals, because A stands for area. So A equals pi r squared. Okay? And the area of a square, if you picture a square, this isn't going to be perfect, but picture a square. The area of a square is area equals, you can do base times height, which is what a lot of people prefer, or you can think of it as the side length squared. Just this one side length squared. I always just do base times height. So area equals base times height. And then if you think about it, picture a square. I'm going to just draw one right out here. And what if I were to cut this in half this way? If I were to cut this in half, what shapes do I get? Well, right here, here's a triangle. So the area of a triangle is 1/2, because I cut that square in half, 1/2 of my base times my height. So area equals 1/2 of the base times the height. If you think about it, you can take any triangle, put it together with another triangle, and you'll make either a square or a rectangle. Try it and see. It always works. So area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Okay, and then I kind of already gave it away, but the area of a rectangle, any rectangle, is just going to be area equals base times height. So you've got three main formulas to remember. The area equals base times height, area equals 1/2 base times height, and then our new one that we learned yesterday, area equals pi r squared. Okay, those are our three. So your page is blank because we're going to be drawing a couple examples here. So go ahead and draw a circle, and let's give it the radius, only the halfway point, of 3. Okay, so remember, we're going to use our area circle formula. Area equals pi r squared. Pi r squared. And for your homework and for your assignments, I want to see all these formulas written out line by line. Write this first formula and then substitute what you know in. We're trying to find the area, so that's going to stay the A. Area equals pi. Well, do we know what pi is? Yes, we do. We always use 3.14. So we just write 3.14 instead of using that pi symbol, because we like numbers instead of these symbols. And then we need to find the radius. And do we have the radius in this circle? Yes, we do. So we're going to multiply, because this is still being multiplied right here. Multiplied by 3 squared. We need to do the exponents first because of PEMDAS. You guys sang all about that. I know you know what it is. Ooh, that's a funny looking M. PEMDAS. And you're going to do exponents first. So what is 3 squared? Remember, it's not 3 times 2. It's 3 times itself 2 times. So it's going to be A equals 3.14 times 3 squared, which is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. And your area will equal, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my calculator. It's going to be 28 something. 3.14 times 9 is 28.26. So that's what my area will equal for this circle. 28.26. And this one doesn't have, I didn't tell you if it was inches or meters, so you can just say units squared, because area will always be squared. Okay, and that's something to know. You can write always squared whenever there's area. Always squared. All right, so then let's go through and find an area of a square. I'm going to change my color. If you want to change your color too, you can. Area of a square, I'm going to draw the best square I can. And let's go ahead and say that this square is 2.5 inches long on one side. Well, it's a square, so we know that this side, this side, this side, and this side are all going to be equal. So we know that the area of a square is base times height. So we can do 2.5 for the base or the height, however you look at it. Area, oops, I'm sorry, let me write the formula like I just said I wanted you to do. Area equals base times height. And our base is going to be 2.5 because we know it's a square and all sides are the same length. And our height is going to be 2.5 because we know it's a square and all sides will be the same length. So it will be 2.5 times 2.5. And that means the area will equal, let me pull up my calculator again, 2.5 times 2.5 is 6.25. Is 6 and 25 hundredths. All right, and this one gave us a unit, so we're going to say inches squared. And we're done. That's our area for the square. I'm going to change again, and I'm going to do triangle, and we'll use green. So here is my triangle right here. And the only part that's tricky about a triangle is the height part. The height is the tallest portion of the triangle, so it's going to be this one. So it's going to be 1/2 area equals 1/2 base times height. And this triangle, let's make this one 4 inches high. Those 2 tick marks mean inches. And let's make this 3 inches wide. And so I need to do area equals 1/2 of my base, which is 3, times my height, which is 4. All right, now don't let this part confuse you. Remember that when you multiply numbers, you can multiply in any order you want and still get the same answer. So when I'm doing triangles, I always like to multiply the whole numbers, these bigger numbers together first, and then multiply it by 1/2. So 3 times 4 gives me 12. And then a half multiplied by 12, area equals 1/2 of 12. Remember that multiply, you can say it by saying 1/2 of 12. Well, what is half of 12? It's 6. So you can do this. If you wanted to solve this, you can make 12 a fraction and do 1 times 12 is 12. And 2 times 1 is 2. And 12 over 2 reduces to 6. But I always just like to think of half of 12 is 6. Or divide 12 by 2 and you'll get 6. Okay, so my area equals 6 inches squared. Don't forget to divide triangles by 2, so that way you have the correct answer. So area equals 6 inches squared. And then again, area of a rectangle, we'll do that one in orange. Area of a rectangle is just base times height. So let's give, ooh, that's a silly looking rectangle. We'll say this one is 10, we'll say this one is 3, and this time we'll do feet. 1 tick mark means that it's feet. All right, so we've got area equals base times height. Plug in those numbers to your formula. It doesn't matter if you think this is the base or this is the base. They can both be switched around. So area equals 10 times 3. What is 10 times 3? We know it's 30. So area equals 30 feet squared. I should probably write this as feet instead of using the tick mark. Feet squared. Area equals 30 feet squared. Okay, so that's our rectangle, our triangle, our square, and our circle formulas for area. The last thing that I would like to show you, I'm actually going to do a little bit of work down here, and you can as well. Let's say that I have this pizza, and I am going to cut it in half, and I'm going to eat half of this pizza. How much is left over right here? It seems pretty obvious, but there's half left over on this side, right? So This is half of the pizza. Do you agree? So if I'm going to use, if I'm looking at a shape that is a half a circle, can I use my formula to figure out what the area of this half circle will be? Let's go back and first think about what is the area of a circle, an actual circle. Area equals pi r squared. So let's say here that my radius is, let's use 3 again, like we did in our top example. Our radius is 3. From here to here is 3. All right, and so I know that I can plug this all in, just like I did up here, I think in purple, and I'm going to get 28.26 units. But 28.26 units is going to be for the whole circle, for the whole pizza, right? It's this whole thing. But what if I only want half of that pizza? What would I do? Well, just like if I was actually slicing a real pizza, I would slice this number in half. How do I divide something in half? I just divide it by 2. So 28.26 divided by 2 gives you 14.13. And 14.13 will be representative of half of the circle. So 14.13 is, did I use inches? I think I used inches. Is the 14.13 inches squared is half of the area of a circle. So whenever you are looking, because tomorrow we're going to be looking at finding the areas of compound shapes, and whenever you're looking at finding the area of half of a shape, you can just divide it in 2 and it works just fine. So then what I want you to do next is go on to Teacheries and download the worksheet that is on there for you to complete today for homework. It shouldn't take you very long. It's just to make sure that you have your area skills totally perfect before we move on to our next lesson tomorrow. All right, and don't forget that Thursday is the absolute last day that you can submit any late work. Please go on and check Teacheries and make sure that you don't have any missing work. Your grades are already up to date. All right, and I think that's it for now.